begun to try to find out more about the historic home of one of the Borders' oldest families. The Hume Castle Preservation Trust has been granted more than £30,000 to research the ancestral stronghold near to Chelsea.
Yes, members of the Hume clan gathered there for a reunion and to celebrate their past, as Matty Sutton reports.
Their ancestors built these walls more than 2 centuries ago, but the history of this site dates back a lot further than that. Hume Castle is the historic seat of the Hume clan, and the stories hidden beneath the grass and stones fascinate those who feel a familial connection here.
We came up here yesterday, and we were up here all by ourselves, you know. And to think that you walking, my husband, you're walking in your ancestors' footsteps, you know, from hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years ago. It was very moving.
It's not where I live, it's not where I was born, it's the blood you carry in your veins. And being a Hume is the blood I carry in my veins. And that's why I love coming back every year.
The Humes are one of the oldest border clans, and they meet every 5 years to celebrate their heritage. But this year's gathering was extra special. The trust, which looks after the castle, has won a £33,000 grant to research more about its history. The original castle was built here around the 12th century, but that was destroyed and then rebuilt in the 18th century by Hugh Hume, the Earl of Marchmont. He built it as a romantic folly that could be seen for miles. And it's these views which made it a key strategic target during the medieval wartime periods.
Originally the church would have stood pretty much in the centre of the courtyard.
But archaeologists now are focusing on the large medieval village which they say once stood close by. Around 800 people are believed to have lived in this area, making it one of the largest early settlements in Scotland. They're starting their work in this graveyard about half a mile from the castle.
A lot of history focuses on the winners and the writers of history, and doesn't really focus on people who just carry on and do their day-to-day business. So by actually excavating parts of the village that wouldn't necessarily get the limelight, if you like, it can give us a lot more information about how people lived, how they worked, and what sort of industry would have been in place at the time here.
The 3-year project will involve some excavation work, exciting times for the archaeologists, and a deeply personal project for those who feel a close tie to this place.
One's stimulated by knowing about what one's ancestors went through, how they lived. And the Earl and Countess of Hume lived in there, in the tower. They eventually moved to the Hersal, where they still are, hundreds of years later. It must have been freezing here in the winter. No hot and cold.
The soil may have obscured the day-to-day routine of those who lived here hundreds of years ago, but how they lived could soon be a little clearer. Matty Sutton, ITV News, Hume.